I still remember that summer like it was yesterday. I was 19, fresh out of my first year in college, and desperate to get away from the noise of the city. A friend of mine suggested I spend a week at his family's cabin, deep in the woods of northern Michigan. He swore it was the perfect place to disconnect, relax, and just enjoy nature. The idea sounded amazing. No Wi-Fi, no traffic, no neighbors, just peace. Or at least that's what I thought. The cabin itself was old but cozy. It sat near a small lake, surrounded by towering pine trees that seemed to whisper whenever the wind blew through them. The first couple of nights were perfect. I fished in the lake during the day, read books on the porch, and roasted marshmallows at night. Felt like a dream vacation. But on the third night, something changed. I was lying in bed, staring at the wooden ceiling, when I heard it. Footsteps on the porch. At first, I thought it might be a raccoon or maybe a deer wandering too close. But these weren't random scuffles. These were slow, deliberate footsteps, like someone pacing back and forth just outside the door. My heart started racing. The nearest neighbor was over 5 miles away. Nobody should have been out there. I got up, grabbed the flashlight, and crept to the window. But when I shined the light outside, the porch was empty. The woods looked still and silent. I shook it off, convincing myself it was just my imagination. But the sound didn't stop. Every night after that, just as the sun went down, I would hear those same slow footsteps outside the cabin. By the 5th night, I couldn't take it anymore. I decided I'd wait by the window until it started. Around midnight, the footsteps began again. Steady, pacing, circling the cabin. I gripped the flashlight and tried to catch whoever it was. But no matter where I pointed the beam, there was nothing. The footsteps would stop whenever the light swept by, and then continue again from a different spot, just out of view. That's when I realized, whatever it was, it didn't want me to see it. The final night was the worst. I was packing up, ready to leave early in the morning, when I heard the footsteps again. This time heavier, faster, coming straight up to the front door. My heart jumped as the doorknob started to rattle. Someone, or something, was trying to get inside. I stood frozen, clutching the flashlight like it was a weapon. After dinner, we decided to walk along the beach. The town was so quiet, almost unnervingly so. Not a single person in sight. When we got back to the motel, though, we noticed something strange. All the doors were closed, except ours. We were sure we'd locked it. Inside, nothing seemed disturbed, but the window was wide open, curtains blowing in the breeze. I shut it, trying to laugh it off, but my stomach was in knots. That night, I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of whispering. At first, I thought it was my friends talking in their sleep, but when I sat up, I realized it was coming from the hallway. I pressed my ear against the door, and the whispers grew louder. Dozens of voices, all talking at once. But I couldn't make out a single word. It was like they were chanting. Suddenly, the voices stopped. Silence. Then came a knock. 3 sharp knocks right on our door. My heart nearly exploded. My friends woke up too, eyes wide with fear. We didn't move. We didn't make a sound. After a few minutes, we thought whoever it was had gone. But then we heard the doorknob slowly turning. I grabbed the nearest thing I could use as a weapon, a lamp, and just stood there, frozen. The knob twisted back and forth, harder and harder, until finally, it stopped. We barely slept. At sunrise, we packed our stuff and rushed out. The office was empty, no manager, no staff, like nobody had been there at all. When we got back on the road, I couldn't stop thinking about that place. I tried looking it up later, searching online for the Seaview Inn. But here's the strange part. There's no record of it. Nothing on Google, nothing on maps, not even old photos. It's like the motel never existed. And yet, I still remember the whispers, the voices outside our room. And sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I swear I hear that same faint chanting, like it followed me home from that beach. Story 3. The Lake House with No Reflection. The scariest summer of my life happened 3 years ago, when my cousin invited me to spend a week at his family's lake house. It was in a remote area, surrounded by dense woods, and the water was so still it looked like a mirror. The first few days were perfect. We went swimming, grilled food on the dock, and stayed up late telling ghost stories. But one evening, right as the sun dipped below the trees, something happened that I'll never forget. I was standing on the dock, looking down at the water. The lake was so calm that I could see my reflection perfectly, until I realized something was wrong. The reflection wasn't moving like me. I raised my hand, but the reflection stayed still. Its eyes were locked on mine, unblinking, even when I shifted. My heart jumped into my throat. I staggered back, blinking hard, thinking maybe it was a trick of the light. But when I leaned forward again, the reflection smiled. I didn't. From that moment, everything at the lake house felt wrong. At night, I'd wake up to faint splashing sounds outside the window, like someone wading in the water. Once, I saw wet footprints leading up the porch, but they ended right at the door, like someone had walked inside without opening it. By the fifth night, things escalated. My cousin and I were on the dock again when he suddenly froze and whispered, "Do you see that?" Out on the lake, about 20 feet away, stood a figure. Not swimming, standing on the surface of the water. It looked like me. Same build, same clothes. I couldn't move. The figure slowly tilted its head, as if studying me. Then, in one smooth motion, it sank straight down into the water without a ripple. That night, I dreamed I was drowning. In the dream, I opened my eyes underwater, and there was my reflection, pulling me deeper, its grin stretching unnaturally wide. I woke up gasping for air, sheets soaked with sweat. The final morning, I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom mirror when I noticed it again. My reflection blinked a second too late. Then it leaned closer, pressing its face against the glass from the other side, lips moving. I dropped the toothbrush and bolted. I didn't wait to pack. I didn't say goodbye. I just got in my car and drove until I couldn't see the lake anymore. I haven't been back since. My cousin swears nothing strange ever happened after I left, but I don't believe him. Sometimes, when I look in the mirror at home, I catch my reflection smiling a fraction of a second too early, or too late. And every summer, when the air is heavy and the nights are long, I feel like it's waiting for me. By the lake, in the water, in the glass, just waiting for the moment I finally let it switch places with me.